By far the most compelling character in the new Star Wars series, Skeleton Crew, is Jude Law's character Jod Na Nawood, also known as Captain Silvo, Crimson Jack, Dash Renton. We are first introduced to Jod in the opening scene of the first episode as the captain of a ruthless gang of pirates. After he fails to lead his crew to the treasure he promised them, he is subject to mutiny by his first mate, Brutus, and then confined to a cell to wait execution. But after the central characters of the show, Wim, Neil, Fern and KB meet Jod locked in the dungeon, they escape together and begin trying to find their way back to At-Atin, the home planet of the children, and a place of legend for a pirate like Jod. However, Jod is no ordinary pirate. From his very first appearance, we learn that he can use the Force, and for a while it seemed like this might have been some trick he was hiding up his sleeve, as any good pirate would. But later in the series, there is practically no denying that Jod is Force sensitive in some capacity. But that begs the question, is Jod a Jedi? And if not, then who is he, and how did he go unnoticed by the Jedi and the Empire throughout his life?
Through the Force, you will find balance as well.
Well, if we match the age of the actor Jude Law to the age of the character he is playing, then we can say that Jod Na Nawood is probably in his early 50s. And since Skeleton Crew takes place somewhere around 9 ABY, which means 9 years following the Battle of Yavin, when the rebels destroyed the first Death Star, or approximately 5 years following the defeat of the Empire entirely in Return of the Jedi, then that means Jod could have possibly been a youngling or even a Padawan at the Jedi Temple before the Great Jedi Purge. 28 years before we see him in Skeleton Crew. If he were a part of the Jedi Order at some point in his life, then following the events of Order 66, he would have likely gone into hiding and pursued a life of piracy as a way to survive and stay hidden from the Empire. Much like how Baylan Skoll from Ahsoka became a mercenary for hire after the fall of the Jedi Order. Jod Na Nawood seems to be able to use the Force in relatively simple ways, such as by moving small objects. He also seems to have a grasp of Jedi philosophy, at times preaching about the value of non-attachment and seemingly having some knowledge of the Jedi themselves.
Your focus determines your reality.
However, Jod also seems to have twisted these Jedi philosophies to his own advantage in some ways, perhaps as a way of justifying his life as a pirate. When he talks to Wim about attachment, for example, his words echo what a Jedi like Master Yoda might have once said, but it's almost as if he is using the concept as a way of distancing himself from others and creating this sort of lone wolf facade that likely kept him alive all these years. So although Jod does appear to have some grasp of the Jedi's philosophy, it seems almost like his training was cut short, and so he never really fully grasped the true meanings of their teachings, but has instead manipulated the teachings of his childhood to serve the life he was forced to live ever since. However, since Skeleton Crew is part of the Mandoverse time period, which consists of the other Disney Plus shows, The Mandalorian, The Book of Boba Fett and Ahsoka, then it is entirely possible that we could see Jod in other projects going forward, potentially as a major player in the events of the story to come. Already across these different shows in this time period, we have seen several Jedi and Force users beginning to form part of a larger story, including Luke Skywalker, Ahsoka Tano, Ezra Bridger, Baylan Skoll and Shin Hati, as well as Grogu and now also Sabine Wren apparently. Perhaps somewhere down the line, before the Mandoverse concludes, we could possibly see Jude Law as Jod Na Nawood, or whatever his real name is, cross paths with another Jedi like Ahsoka or Luke, and get the chance to complete his Jedi training. Jod could then play a major role in the finale of the Mandoverse, with the movie that is reportedly going to conclude the events of this time period, and will hopefully take a lot of inspiration from the Heir to the Empire trilogy from the old expanded universe. Now, leading up to the release of Skeleton Crew just before this past Christmas, my girlfriend and I sat down to re-watch the Harry Potter franchise, including the Fantastic Beasts prequel movies. In those movies, Jude Law plays an excellent young Albus Dumbledore and was definitely one of the highlights of that trilogy for me. I think it is entirely possible that as the Mandoverse continues to grow and build towards a unified storyline, we could potentially see Jude Law transform from a stuck-up, half-witted, scruffy-looking nerf-herder pirate scoundrel to a compassionate, wise and composed Jedi Knight. Jude Law certainly played the role of a wise and compassionate teacher very well in the Harry Potter spin-offs, and I think he would make a great addition to the Jedi in Star Wars, perhaps even helping Luke rebuild his Jedi Order or possibly helping Ahsoka establish a splinter group of Jedi in the galaxy of Peridia. Who knows? Anyway, I just wanted to put this theory out there. We've seen a lot of clues that point to Jude Law's character not only having been a Jedi at some point in his past, but potentially becoming a Jedi again one day and using his abilities for good rather than self-gain. Let me know what you guys think by leaving a comment below. I love getting into discussions about Star Wars with other fans online. And if you liked this video and you want to see more from me, then please subscribe. I'm not a full-time YouTuber, but I am planning to build my channel up this year in 2025, as I have some pretty cool videos planned, as well as a major project that I'll be releasing hopefully later this year. And I will be using this channel as a way to promote it, so stay tuned. Thanks for watching everyone, and may the Force be with you all.